UK's first ever womb transplant hailed by doctors as dawn of new era in fertility treatment. Also womb transplants for trans women many years off, comments UK surgeon. Scientists finally complete and publish the missing piece in human genome, the male sex chromosome, Y chromosome sequence. Philipp Wien returns to first FSV Mainz 05. The Austrian international, who switched from Mainz to PSV Eindhoven 2 years ago, signed a contract on the Braunschweig until 2026. Bayer 04 Leverkusen has signed the right-back Melvin Ukpib. The 16-year-old Spanish junior international changes on a loan for a year from Real Madrid's U18 representative to the Bundesliga club and will initially strengthen the Leverkusen U17 under the cross. VfB has extended the contract with Hiroki Iro prematurely and bound the Japanese international to the club until June 30, 2027. Daniel Peretz moves to FC Bayern.
New Zealand should consider joining Australia, a New Zealand MP urges in valedictory speech before retirement. Taiwan is critical of Nicaragua and China after expulsion of the Parlacen. Then Taiwan leaves Parlacen after expulsion vote.
Brazil's former president Jair Bolsonaro in hospital in Sao Paulo for routine exams. He says that he will perform 3 surgeries in September 2023, due after 2018 stabbing.
Louis Theroux calls out right-skewing press and vested interests who want to defund the BBC in Edinburgh TV Festival. Also, an atmosphere of anxiety has led to less confident filmmaking, as anxious TV bosses should stop playing it safe. Lizzo's team slammed for victim shaming over ex-dancer's lawsuit. Grammy winner's lawyer threatens malicious prosecution action. Alec Baldwin fails in bid to end Rust crew member's suit over fatal shooting on set. In the past, Alec Baldwin sued Rust crew for negligence. Oscar winner Hans Zimmer and Cara Talv to score the Tattooist of Auschwitz series from Sky, Peacock. New Jersey to require free period products in schools for grades 6 through 12. Japan's Aichi Prefecture to recognize same-sex, common-law couples with children as families. Secret Service agents were in contact with far-right Oath Keepers. Prosecutor says 3 men accused in plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Whitmer wanted to start a civil war. Yellowstone National Park wolves observed bringing toys to their teething pups. P&G dropped its pledge against forest degradation.
Wrestling Federation of India membership suspended on world stage. WWE Hall of Famer Terry Funk dead at 79.
Shopify embraces decentralized payments and integrates with zero-fee Solana Pay to accept USDC payments over Solana, prompting businesses to adopt crypto transactions. Alibaba Cloud, Huawei joined China's new blockchain data exchange. BRICS Bank aims to increase local currency borrowing to 30% as it strives to reduce reliance on the dollar. BRICS invites Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Ethiopia, the Emirates and Iran to join the bloc. South Africa, China signed power deals during BRICS summit for solar components. Germany, Switzerland, Austria join call for return to budgetary discipline. John Isner says he'll retire from tennis after US Open. Los Angeles Angels Shohei Ohtani tears his UCL in the elbow joint and won't pitch again this season. Mike Trout goes to Illinois.
Third time lucky for Paulino. In Budapest following 2 global 400 meters silvers, Maria Di Paulino becomes first Dominican woman to win a world title in 400 meters and gold medal. Republican candidates fight each other and mostly line up behind Trump. At the first debate, Biden's campaign is plastering dark brand and ads across Fox News website and the city of Milwaukee on the day of the first GOP presidential debate.
Giuliani turns himself in on Georgia 2020 election charges after bond is set at $150,000. Former Trump lawyer Jenna Ellis surrenders for arrest in Fulton County. Federal judge denies Meadows. Clark attempts to block arrest in Georgia of prosecution of Trump aides over 2020 election.
Driverless cars worse at detecting children and darker-skinned pedestrians, say scientists. Stephen King says, "My books were used to train AI." Zadie Smith, Stephen King and Rachel Cusk's pirated works used to train AI. The New York Times blocks OpenAI's web crawler.
In a leaked Zoom all-hands call, CEO says employees must return to offices because they can't be as innovative or get to know each other on Zoom.
Frequent recurrent headaches were associated with older age. female sex and being gender diverse, youth with frequent headaches had higher odds of experiencing both overt and relational bullying compared to peers. Frequent headaches were no longer associated with gender diversity, but were still associated with frequent overt and relational peer victimization, suicidality, and having a mood or anxiety disorder. In a model adjusted for age, sex, and mood anxiety disorders, the risk of suicidality increased incrementally with headache frequency. IBM Research's newest prototype chips use drastically less power to solve AI tasks. The 32 cores in the IBM AIU closely resemble the AI core embedded in the Telum chip that powers the latest IBM Z16 system.
Heavy drinking, handgun carrying linked among U.S. rural youth. Formerly depressed patients continue to focus on negative acne bacteria trigger cells to produce fats, oils and other lipids essential to skin health.
Waste coffee grounds make concrete 30% stronger. In India's Mizoram, under construction railway bridge collapses near Saran, 26 dead. Qualcomm unveils Snapdragon G Series, designed for next-gen handheld gaming devices. The Snapdragon G Series handheld gaming portfolio now spans 3 tiers, G1, G2 and G3, with Snapdragon-registered G3 X Gen 2 platform as the newest enthusiast-class processor. INEO, Huken, Inventec, Thundercom, and other companies are collaborating with Qualcomm on handheld gaming devices powered by Snapdragon G Series platforms. Tropical forests are approaching critical temperature thresholds as tropical forests face massive leaf death from global heating. Study finds it's getting too hot for tropical trees to photosynthesize, scientists warn.
Beginning around June 23, the areal extent of Greenland's surface melting and runoff increased significantly. Several widespread melting events covering about 800,000 square kilometers, or up to 50% of the ice sheet, occurred on June 27, July 6–7, and July 11, as several pulses of warm air swept across the southern portion of the ice sheet and northward around the northern coast. A melting Greenland glacier seems to prompt worst tsunami events. Huawei tries to sidestep U.S. sanctions using secret chip manufacturing plants by a secretive chip startup, a fab network to avoid U.S. sanctions. Germany plans to double AI funding in race with China, U.S. Honda jumps on the solid-state battery bandwagon while targeting 50% weight reduction. The 2024 Mercedes-AMG GT weighs 4,343 pounds, 2.1 tons, more than a Bugatti Veyron. Kia scraps the sub-$20,000 low-cost Rio after the 2023 model year, paving the way for 2 new electric vehicles. Stolen Rolls-Royce driver escapes police chase by hiding in a tunnel in downtown LA, like it's Grand Theft Auto. Court jury finds 2 teenagers perpetrated lapsus $ group hacks of data breaches of Uber, Nvidia, and Rockstar Games. The Fukushima nuclear plant begins releasing treated radioactive wastewater into the sea. MOH, the Malaysian Health Ministry to inspect high-risk food products from Japan, following release of Fukushima radioactive water. Hong Kong bans aquatic products from 10 Japanese prefectures along with Macau. Japan's release of radioactive water from Fukushima angers China, also South Korea's opposition parties.
USPS rural carriers seek to decertify union after most members see pay cuts. Australian shoppers paying high meat prices as farmers say sheep not worth sending to market.
Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin among the 10 killed in private jet crash in Russia. In the meantime, hundreds of Wagner men vanished from Putin's designated exile, and Wagner employees allegedly loot Prigozhin's headquarters. Putin attended concert as news broke. White House says no one should be surprised if Prigozhin actually died in a plane crash in Russia. And Biden points finger at Putin as Prigozhin's reported death scene, as a warning to elites. Warner Brothers cancels highly anticipated DC superhero movie. Chris McKay's Nightwing, Grey's Anatomy Season 20 delayed indefinitely, breaks the show's 18-year tradition. Producer Saeed Ben Saeed reteams Paul Verhoeven to adapt a novel, again by Philippe Gian for Sans Compteur in France, nearly 10 years after the adaptation of psychological thriller, Oh, from the same author. The Gaza Strip gets its first cat cafe, a cozy refuge from life under blockade.
Barbie to play IMAX theaters in 2023 fall, with new post-credit footage, for 1 week only. Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget to world premiere at BFI London Film Festival. Toronto Maple Leafs Matthews Inc.'s 4-year extension, with record $13.25 MAAV, the Tampa Bay Lightning announce they have signed Austin Watson, also Darren Radish to a 2-year contract extension. Hollywood studios release offer, outlining wage increases, AI protections for writers, promise to keep using human writers, saying no to AI replacements. WGA rejects the studio offers as divisive, full of loopholes. Film and TV studios post AI jobs, with salaries up to $1 million as workers strike. U.S. Space Force awarded $1.5 billion for launching 72 new warfare satellites into orbit. North Korea's second spy satellite launch fails. The rocket lands into sea. South Africa a growing conduit for Islamic State funds, says new UN report. India becomes 4th nation to land on the moon, and first to South Pole, with Chandrayaan-3, India's low-cost first successful moon lander to Southern Pole. ISRO says rover ramped down, made in India. Pragyan rover does the moonwalk.
Apple is debating settlement with AirPod Max buyers over sweat design flaw. Apple supports right to repair bill in California. Automakers now have to comply with Massachusetts' right to repair law. 3 months ago, judge denied automakers' request to block right to repair law in Massachusetts.